There's an entrepreneur named Jessie Lee. I'm Boss Lee on Instagram. And I just found out that she died a couple months ago. I believe she died in September of this year, 2023. And she had colon cancer. And I'm reading some of the comments of people that worked with her, that coached under her, that were in her program, and people just love her. I didn't really follow a lot of what she did, but I knew of her. And she was like in her mid-30s, which is very young for someone to die. And from what I read, she was exploring natural health alternatives to her cancer. So she didn't want to get chemo. She didn't want to go the traditional route. And of course, if you Google her, the news, quote unquote, says that what she did was very irresponsible. And they're basically bashing her for choosing to do her treatment naturally. And I'm like, you fucking people, it's her choice. It was her choice whether she wanted to do the chemo or whether she wanted to do it naturally. But of course, people are bashing her for making a choice. And the greater purpose of your life is that you get to fucking make choices. You get to choose the kind of life that you want. You get to choose your own path. If that ends up working out for you in a great way, then great. If it ends up not working out for you, that's your choice. But for people to act like there's only one way to solve this problem or one way to go about this particular issue, that's fucking stupid. You get to choose. So, for whatever reason, she got this cancer. I don't know what her diet was like. She looked like she was very fit, very healthy. She went in for some kind of a scan thinking that she was going to come out with like these flawless results because she was very proud of her health and fitness, which I think is great. And whatever the scan said, the doctor told her, you only have so many months to live. Like, you're going to be dead by October, whatever they told her. And for me personally, I wouldn't even get one of these scans. I wouldn't even go to a doctor. I would not even let them have the option of telling me something like that. Like, fuck that. But she did it. She got the scan. She went to the doctor. They told her, you have stage 4 colon cancer. You only have X amount of months to live. Like, this shit is real. Like, imagine somebody tells you that. I won't even let somebody tell me that. I already know my plan. Live to 200 while looking and feeling 25. That was a plan I created for myself when I was 19. And now that I've survived my 20s and 30s, don't want to be 25 forever, because for me that just constitutes immaturity. But you know what that means. Like, look and feel 25. Basically, look and feel your best. I feel now better than I did in my 20s. I would not want to go back to feeling what I felt in my 20s. But anyway, so life is really about owning the fact that you have a choice. You get to decide how you're going to live. You get to decide if you're going to follow certain paths or if you're going to blaze your own path. That is your choice. So when I see something like Jessie Lee died of cancer and she's getting bashed for choosing the natural, holistic approach to healing that, she had an interview with Ed Milet as well, which I was listening to, which is pretty interesting. That's her fucking choice. Like, Let it be. That's her choice. That's the choice that she made. Sometimes people die. It just happens. It's just a reminder that at some point this ends. Like, it's going to be over. So with that in mind, why don't you choose the life that you actually want to live? Why don't you go out and do the things that you really want to do? If you really want to quit your job and become a copywriter, why don't you fucking quit your job and become a copywriter like I did? I couldn't stand my customer service job anymore, so I quit. I quit because my boss at the time was quitting, and he was like the only cool person left on the team. And I was like, well, I don't want to be promoted to his position, so I'm out. That was way back in 2006. And I never had a job ever since then. I've had clients. I've had copywriting clients. I've had writing positions, remote. All of it's remote. So I never worked in a office job or cubicle ever again. And that was my decision. Now, it took me a while to get on my feet and really make the copywriting thing work. It took me several years to make that work. And, I dealt with the fruits of my choice. For a while, I wasn't making enough money to pay my bills, and I moved back home with my parents for a few years, got a little too comfortable, and then I moved out. And I was like, I'm never doing that again. I am sacrificing everything that's getting in the way of me building this copywriting business. That's a decision that I made. And sometimes it was really hard to follow through on that decision. Like, I wanted to hold on to these things that were just wasting my time and my energy and that were dragging me down and making it difficult to actually build my copywriting business. That's the choice I made. Every day, you get to make a choice as to how you conduct yourself, how you behave, how you think and act, what beliefs you have about yourself, about life, about the world. You get to make that choice. Right now, there's this mass agenda trying to hypnotize people into thinking that they don't have a choice. These are grown adults that we're talking about. If you're a grown adult, you have a fucking choice. So, whether or not you followed Jesse's work, whether or not you knew of her or know of her or knew her personally, there's a lot of people that know her personally. They have worked with her. I just want to remind you that you don't know when your time is up. You just don't know. And you don't know when the time is up for the people that are close to you in your life. And you shouldn't be afraid of that either. You shouldn't be afraid of that. I have a client that has a tattoo on him, I think it's on his arm or something, that says die whenever. Die whenever. Like, whenever it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, we can't control that. What you can control is your daily actions and behaviors that you're engaging in day to day. You have a choice on that. And if there's something that you want to do, if there's some big dream that's calling to you, you better get the fuck on it right now, today. Because time is passing and there's gonna come a day when you don't have that option anymore. So if you don't take action on that thing that's calling to you, there's gonna be a day when you no longer have an option to do it. For whatever reason. Maybe it's too late for you. I would venture to say that if you're watching this message, if you're hearing this, that's your sign to take the action that you want to take on that dream that you've been harboring in your heart for so many years or decades.